This is a true story that my brother told me and that my mom confirmed. Apparently, one time, my dad, who is not around anymore, went to this, like, flea market here in Colorado, and he bought a pair of human hands, and he kept them for years. So that's already wild enough, right? And then one day he was like, this is kind of weird, and he took them to a creek near where the flea market was years ago, and he just set them down in the water and just let them go. This is real. This is a real story. There's so much to question. Like, my brother told me that story, and my mom walked out, and he was like, Mom, wasn't that a thing that happened with Dad and, like, the hands? And she was like, yeah, they were Native American hands. Like, unfazed.
Supposedly Native American. Specific.
And Dad paid money.
Years later, Dad decides, it was a little fucked up. And that's the end of that story.
Well, nobody even told me that story. Why would you tell it? Why would you do that?
All of that's crazy. All of that is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you remember that story about the human hands? Dad.
What?
Right. Yeah. And then what do you do with it?
I was taking it back to the creek.
Right.
Where he found it?
Didn't they sell them at like a flea market?
And they sold it for and more.
Why was somebody selling them? Why did he buy them? Why did he keep them for years? And then why? Why did he think that sending them down the river was the best course of action to take? Too many questions. And my mom was too nonchalant about that. Like, to just be like, oh yeah, that thing that happened. What of it? I don't know if he did it because he thought it was funny, though. I think he actually just wanted a set of Native American hands. But it's so funny to think that, like, eventually at some point someone found either both of the hands or one hand, and then somebody else down the river found another hand. What if they're not from the same person? Who is selling human hands at a flea market? How much were they too? Like, that is another thing that was not included in the story. How much did my father pay for a pair of hands? Where did he keep them also? Like, not just, like, in the truck, in the center console. Okay, so I've learned a few new things about the human hand story, and I think it got crazier. Now we have some new insight from my older brother. He was about 5 years old when all this went down. He couldn't really tell me much about it, but he could understand what was going on. The problem is that he was also too nonchalant. So my sister-in-law went ahead and asked him questions for me about this whole thing, and this is what he had to say.
Apparently, your dad bought a pair of hands?
Yeah.
At a flea market?
I don't know where he got them from.
And
I know we had them. I don't know where he got them from.
how long did y'all have them?
Well, I used to play with them.
Like, often?
I wasn't supposed to.
What the fuck? Okay. Do you know what happened to the hands?
No.
Were they like, did they have skin on them or were they bones?
No, they were just like a movie. Skeleton hands.
Okay. Were they like moldable and stuff?
Yeah. They had like these little silver rings that would keep the bones together, the knuckles and stuff.
How old are you?
Oh, I don't know. Young.
What the?
Too young to be playing with hands, but
Apparently, your mom confirmed this, and they were like Native American hands.
yeah, I heard. It's been a long time, but I don't know. Or how much bigger than my hands they were. I remember that.
So you compared your hand sizes.
Oh yeah, high five them.
Were they bigger? Well, what
Yeah,
you
they
think?
were
How
grown.
old do
They
you
were
think
grown.
you were when you were playing with them?
If I had to guess, Big's age, 5.
5, and then they just disappeared.
Young. And then they probably put them away. I wasn't supposed to have them. We had the shelves in the closet or something, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my god. Y'all-
I stayed playing in their room, so.
Go for it. What do you about? So, the setting it down the creek. You're.
Oh,
what do
it
you,
just sounds like something he would do. It's a cool thing to do. He was cool, so that's which I would imagine he would do with them. After realizing it's probably not cool to just keep them
what about what if somebody found them?
tight. I mean, they probably think they're fake.
All right, and then what about back then? And you were talking about going into the room, everything was dark.
Yeah, I remember like dark brown leather, probably suitcases. It was like probably in his closet. I don't know. I wasn't supposed to be in there.
And you would just steal them?
I wouldn't take them. I would play with them right there. So I don't think they were mad about it. They just probably tell me, "Hey, put that down." And it was a real. Probably shouldn't play with those. And I'd make them like pose and do like rock out hands and flick off hands and stuff like that. You know, give the bird. I don't know. It was fun. They sounded cool.
They sounded cool.
Yeah, they clinked.